Hello, everyone. Thank you so much again for having me over on your screen. This is Eden, your Realtor for Life. I do have here today Sean Malachi, an amazing mortgage broker and financial analyst. And here we are today to discuss Halal Mortgage 2024 by the federal government. So, Sean, do you mind going ahead and introducing yourself, please?
Hi, Eden. Thanks for having me today. My name is Sean Malachi. I'm with the mortgage management team. I am a certified financial planner and a mortgage broker for the past 16 years, 17 years now. Time flies. And
Yes.
I'm here to, discuss all your to answer your questions and discuss anything that's going on in the news today.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So recently, the federal government announces they're going to implement halal mortgage. I believe that is a type of mortgage that's catered for the Muslim community. So can you tell us what halal mortgage is or how it's defined?
I am not an expert in this, but from what I've heard, from what I read, the federal government is putting some pressure on the institutions, financial institutions, to offer this. Our Muslim population is growing, and a lot of people are in the Muslim religion. It's forbidden to charge or receive interest. So they want to come up with a product that's going to be compliant with this religion for them to be able to get a mortgage to buy a house, but at the same time not to be breaking any rules in their religion. So something that's going to be compliant with the Sharia law.
So in a sense, in order for them to own a home, they kind of have to have some arrangement with where they are not paying interest rate. So the federal government is trying to help that out by, I guess, by telling all the five big lenders, A lenders, in terms of, I guess, accommodating them. Is that right? And that when does that kind of starts implementing?
Well, and the government's not setting it up; it's just asking them to do it. There are three companies that are offering it already. Three that I know of, but I think more is going to be coming up in the coming months. But the government's asking our big five banks that they should start doing something for them too, something similar. I know there is different products. I know three products that are offered by some of these institutions that are called halal mortgages. There are payments, there are fees, although it's not called interest, but there is going to be the money that is going to be taken because of the house, because of the property. Ultimately, you're going to be paying some fees on top of it, on top of the payment that you're paying back.
I see. I see. So in terms of timing, I heard about June 25th. Like, I don't know what that date is. And then can any other Canadian citizen take advantage of this halal mortgage, or you have to be a Muslim in order for you to exercise that?
I believe you have to be a Muslim. You have to be a practicing Muslim. So I believe they have to either show they have to prove that they are a practicing Muslim in order to be able to get this product. So far from where it's being offered through some of the financial institutions, they have to know you that you're a Muslim and you're a practicing Muslim.
Okay. So as of June 25th, if I were a Muslim, I could go to the bank and say, I want to get pre-qualified for halal mortgage.
I'm not sure if they have that date yet, if they have set it up. I haven't seen anything on the big banks yet regarding this, but there are other financial institutions that are offering it already. So it is out there if you're interested in it. There are three ways of getting it. One is with the fee. One is the co-ownership. That means the institution and you both own part of the property, and you're just paying them ultimately until the property is paid off. Or the last case, they all have their own names. I don't know the names, the exact names, but they have their own Arabic names. And then the last one is like a rent to own kind of setup, which means the institution buys the property on your behalf. They pay for it outright, and you pay them like rent, but ultimately owning the property at some point.
So there would be, I guess, a contract that would be put together. When you say the institution buys it, now, if there was the banks would purchase the property back. Who is the institution?
They
There's a lot
have
of unknown situation here, right?
It is. Like you said it the contract is very important. People have to be very mindful of what they're signing in, because no one's going to give anything for free.
Exactly.
So there is no interest, but there's always going to be other costs that are going to be incorporated in that. So because everyone has to make money. This is the way that things works. You got to do things, you work and you make money. So if anyone or institution is giving you something, ultimately they have to make money on it. So when it comes down to it, it's the contract that's very important. We have to make sure, you have to read it, you got to go through it and make sure this is something that makes sense.
Definitely. And I would definitely recommend for them to have their lawyer review it, right? To make sure they're protected from a consumer point of view, because it's a new product. Even though I like to think the government has created, the contract by representing both sides in terms of, you know what I mean, to protect the consumer, plus at the same time, the banks make their money, right?
100%. It's going to make more money. Some of the contracts I've seen with this regard is actually cost an individual more money to go this route than the normal getting a mortgage, getting it at an interest rate, because there is the fee and then there's administration fee to administer that fee. So there's going to be fee on top of fee on top of fee. And it's
I guess for some people, faith is more important to them than that. I guess they wouldn't mind, I guess, paying that extra fee in order for them to know, I guess, they abide by their faith, I guess, right? So the other question I have is here. If I was going to purchase a home for $1 million, I come to you, Sean, and say, Sean, go ahead and pre-qualify me. I have this home that I like, 1 million, and you do the regular, there's a certain deposit that you expect. I have to make so much money in order to qualify for the balance of the mortgage. I have to have good credit scores. How does going to any institution that offers the mortgage go and apply for this, and how does it work?
Well, you have to go to an institution that actually offers the product. Then we have to figure out which one is good for you. Like I mentioned, there are 3 separate products that are being offered that are supposed to be compliant, that are compliant with the religion. So once you decide on which one you want to take, which halal mortgage are you
comfortable with,
to proceed with, and then you go on that. But obviously you have to have good credit, you have to have the income, there has to be some money down, the equity that you put in, the down payment. So those parts have to be met, and then ultimately you figure which one you're going to take.
Right. And the other thing is, when the average person goes to get a mortgage, you get terms, right? You're going to have this mortgage for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, mutually agreed. And the interest rate depends on that. So what it means is that interest rate that I got for a certain term of years will end at that time, right? Again, with the halal mortgage, I'm thinking if they don't want to renew interest and interest rate is not a factor, it could even be for a long time till you pay off this amount, or is there a term discussion on how this halal mortgage works?
There has to be a term. I haven't gone through a contract fully, but that contract would have everything written in it, and it would show there has to be a term. I always assumed halal mortgages are, one of the pros for them is that there is no penalty, because always penalties are set and calculated based on the interest paid, either if it's IRD or if it's a 3 months penalty. Those are the way that, so not paying any interest. So I assume there is no penalty to get out of it. But it's again, we got to see what that contract said, because that contract might say there is a huge fee for breaking this contract. And there is nothing against charging a fee than penalty. Again, it all comes down to how these contracts are written. I like you said, if someone is going after this, make sure they go over the contract carefully, make sure they go over it with their lawyer, and ultimately figure out if this is the right product for them.
That's right. And also the other question I have is, when I own a home, I own it for 5-6 years. If I decide to sell it, right, whatever profit I made, I will sell it. Now, with this type of arrangement where it's like rent to own, or you're making some payments, if you decide, to move out of the country, sell the property, like how does that work? There's a lot of I don't know if you have an answer for that.
I don't. But I know that the three ownership structure that's offered with this. One is you own it. If you own it and you're paying your fees, it's all yours. One is the co-ownership. That's when you own half, the bank owns half. In that case, I assume half the profit is yours. It's or again, how it's they have to be, all that should be included in the contract. And then the rent to own, when it comes to rent to own, if you walk away from it and you're not buying it, it's if it's yours, then you sell it, you're entitled to the appreciation and the profit that he made. But again, it's
think about it, Sean. We already have those products for regular buyers too. We have Arbor that does co-ownership share, and also we have two rent-to-own products, with 5% down. So in a sense, it's not like, they were kind of treated, I mean, a lot of people were upset how certain people with certain religion, they get extra privilege, right? So I guess it just works out. The products is there. It's a matter of somebody reaching out to you, discuss all their portfolio to advise them the best, option that's available for them. Is that right? Am I right there?
Yes, it's available for them. It's something that's it's a product that's being offered. We had, like you said, they had to come up with something that's going to be compliant for them. And they figured out, okay, if we do it this way, that's compliant. There's no interest. As long as there's no interest. Right. So we can make it work. So they're coming up with the products that doesn't charge interest, but at the same time, make sure that the profits are met, that the people are making money doing this, either providing it, administrating it, administrating it, or providing it. So, and ultimately, a person is able to own a home without paying that interest.
Right. Well, again, thank you so much for coming out, for discussing this 2024 new rules. And I'm sure you're gonna really dig in and learn, as it develops, how we can benefit our clients, I guess, that are of Muslim community. So again, thank you so much, Sean. And unless you want to add anything else, I'm going to say thank you for coming out, and I'm going to say goodbye. Any final words?
No, you're most welcome. Again, everything's changing with this. Definitely reach out to the financial institution, see what they have, and ultimately go over all the details to make sure it's the right product for you.
Sounds good. Very good. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.